Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Live. We got a great show lined up for you tonight, and I hope people's got lots of questions. We've got Mr. David Eaheart with Prairie Fresh, the Senior Marketing Director there. We've been talking about Prairie Fresh ribs, I know, for the last year. Y'all have seen what I've been cooking and always asking questions about it. So I got a chance to talk to David when I was at the World Food Championship over in Dallas and asked him, man, could you just make a little time for us to come aboard and tell us what makes your product so good and answer some questions. So we're so thankful that David took a little bit of time out to come aboard. We've also got the four-time World Barbecue Champ, Mr. Sterling Smith, Mr. Smitty as we all call him, and had an absolute amazing run at the World Food Championship. Won that one as well, and as everybody knows, had a huge finish at the American Royal, where he finished Reserve Grand Champion in the Open division. So we've got two great guests. Robert, I haven't seen him yet. I know he was running a little bit late. Robert does not have good internet connection at his house, so he usually has to run to the restaurant. And I'm hoping he'll be able to join us here just a little bit later. If not, we got two great guests on tonight. As always, we're going to give everybody just a few minutes to come in and get our numbers up. And I always like to welcome our guests. Gordon, thank you, brother, for being with us tonight. Man, that is a nice-looking buck that you killed this weekend. And congratulations on that. Let's see what else we got. The Drunken Sailor is online. Man, appreciate you being here, Ace. And yeah, we love Smitty. He definitely has a good time at the competitions. Who else we got? Raz Brass, thank you, brother. How are you? I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing good. Merv, man, it's always great to have you here. I know you was changing jobs, and it looks like, though, you found some time to be able to still make the show. We appreciate it. Dan, thank you for being here all the way from Houston, Texas. John, up from the frozen tundra up in Wisconsin, thank you for being with us. We got Lucas with us. Those that may not know, Lucas is from Australia, and he was at the World Food Championship. I got a chance to meet him, and he turned in some great product. And let's see, can you ask David if he can ship me a pallet of them ribs over here? Lucas, it'd probably be a little on the expensive side to air freight some ribs over there. But we do appreciate your support for Prairie Fresh. I don't remember if you got a chance to get some. I think I had told you that there were some that was over at the Walmarts over there, and we're going to talk to Dave a little bit about that. He's kind of told me an interesting story for those people that are in Texas and Walmart in Prairie Fresh. So we'll hear about that here in just a little bit. Justin, thank you for being here. Good evening, Mike. Congrats on your first place brisket call this past weekend. Yep, tough field down there. It's one of my favorite competitions to go to down in Marksville, Louisiana. I got a couple of these big trophies. I was shooting for one more. I had won that thing for the first time in 2018. In 2020, I won it the second time. I think I may be the only person that's won the November competition two times. And I was like, well, 2 years apart, let's see if we can roll it off in 2022. And I was super happy with my chicken. I had not been out of the top 5 in ribs, and I couldn't tell you when. And, man, I did not get a final table on either one. I was just shocked. But that's barbecue for you. You just never know. And Marksville is always a tough crowd down there. We never know who the judges are going to be. And so I struck out on those two, but man, when that first place brisket came on, I was thrilled to death. That is my third. Both times that I grand champion had a first place brisket in 18, a first place brisket in 20. I just didn't get another call. I needed one more top 3 or 4 call, and I think I would have grand championed it. But I want to just take a brief second to congratulate Adam Gotro. Adam Gotro is an incredible cook. He has cooked that thing for 9 years down there. He's won the spring event in Marksville, but he never managed to win that one in November. And I was so thrilled that he got a grand champion and won that thing. Lee Hickle, one of our barbecue pit masters here on Barbecue Champs, got reserve grand champion. And I want to congratulate both of those guys and everybody that got a walk that weekend. So it was definitely a fun time. But thank you, Justin. Let's see here. Smitty is my dude. Yes, sir. He's a good one. Caitlin Crane, thank you for being on here as well. Looks like y'all had another great weekend. Billy, thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. We're definitely going to get that out toward the end of the show. Want to wish everybody a happy Turkey Day. Tony, thank you for being with us. Stephen, thank you for being with us today. And Rescue Smokers, we got Mr. Robbie Royal in the house. Hey, brother, how you doing? Man, look, you sure cooked up some amazing Thanksgiving dinner today. As always, everything that you cook looks delicious. And I know the feast was well. So thank you for being with us tonight. Juke, thank you for being with us, brother. Mark, as always, appreciate you being here, watching in Fort Worth, Texas. Awesome. Let's see. Yes, sir. I got them from Walmart. I figured you did when I told you Walmart had them. That just go run and get as many as you can. Bobby Oliver, thank you, brother, for being here. TNS Barbecue. Can't get Facebook to come up. Well, it looks like you're on our YouTube channel. That'll work as well. So let's see. Appreciate it, Ace. Thank you, sir. I'm a baby back ribs for $3.99 a pound when I can catch them on sale down here. Yep, they're good as well. Beryl, thank you for being here. Beautiful brisket. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was very happy with it. Adam, thank you for joining us. And gobble, gobble. Yep, Turkey Day is coming. Brenda, thank you for being with us. And David, thank you for being here as well. Look, we got about almost 31 people on here. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I do want to make one quick announcement, as we always do. Couldn't do what we do without our partners. Thank you so much to Danny at Be Extreme Barbecue and all the support that you've given us over the past 3.5 years. Prairie Fresh, once again, I cannot do what I do without your amazing ribs. Thank you so much for all the support and helping Raider Red Meats. We had so many people that were just bombarding her, backyard cookers, people that I do online virtual cooking classes for, competition cookers. They just literally overwhelmed her. She couldn't keep the inventory up. I told her to reach out to David, and I think he pulled some strings and got Raider Red Meats now with all the meat, all the Prairie Fresh products that you could possibly want. So once again, thank you so much to Kirsten at Raider Red Meats and David for making it happen at Prairie Fresh. We love you guys and appreciate your support. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford, thank you, sir. Texas Select Seasoning, Mr. Wild Bill's got some amazing rubs as well. And I want to thank Kim. Also, Gunnar Wilhelm, one of the best knives I've ever come across. Thank you, David, for all your support. Dustin Stanley at the barbecue store. Thank you for carrying all the rubs that we use in our classes. My good buddy John Lindsay at All Queued Up. And last but not least, Miss Gail down at Daigle's Barbecue in South Louisiana. Love you guys and appreciate all your support. Well, without further ado, let's come on in here and let's bring in some of our guests. I've got a few more folks that's jumped on. Yeah, a couple of folks have already been here. David, if you want to ask that question, you can, but we talked about Walmart. We'll find out a little bit more about the Prairie Fresh and Walmart that I was talking to David earlier. So Jennifer, Guido in the house. Guido and the Hacker says howdy. Great hanging out with you guys at World Food as well. Robert's supposed to join us, Jennifer. I've tried to call him. I don't know where he's at. Maybe he's having trouble with internet connections. So, well, without further ado, let's bring in the man that we want to hear from for sure, Mr. David Eaheart with Prairie Fresh, Senior Marketing Director. David, thank you so much, man, for taking some time to be with us tonight.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for inviting me. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be good. I mean, I've been promoting ribs for a long time for you guys, and so many people have asked me questions and why I like them, and I just tell them because I win with them. So, and it's just the flavor. I mean, that's the one thing that I think stands out more than anything is just the flavor, the incredible marbling that's in them. And I was just asking at World Food, what is it that makes these ribs so dadgum good? And you started explaining it to me, and I was like, man, that makes sense. So we're gonna dive into that, and that's why I wanted you to come on in front of an audience so we could kind of find out and really get into what is so unique about the Prairie Fresh products. Also, I got to bring in one more guest. I think everybody knows Mr. Smitty. Hey, brother, how are you doing? World Food Champion, Luton Booty Barbecue. Got his 4th World Barbecue Champion. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Amazing. I do got to give a shout out to my buddy Ace right here. I got the Drunken Sailor shirt on for my buddy Ace Sutton. So,
there you go.
You know, but I'm amazing right now. It's just been a phenomenal year end, just in competition barbecue in general. And It was an awesome culmination to the end of the year, and I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm excited to talk to David. I've used the Prairie Fresh products this whole year. They've been a huge part of my success
Mm-hmm.
this whole year is partnering with Prairie Fresh. So I'm excited to hear more about what David has to say about the product as well, because to me, it's all about learning and
Yeah.
knowing more about the products we're using, which is going to make us better cooks. It's going to make us
Yeah.
better pit masters. The more we know about the background
The,
of the
yep.
product, where it comes, how the flavoring involved, and just everything involved. So I'm excited to hear from David as well.
Yeah. All right, David, we're going to turn over the floor to you, brother. See if I've got any more folks on here. Let's see. Robbie Royal, welcome, David. Thanks, David. Hey, David, we got a lot of folks on here wanting to hear from you. So
Drunken Sailor, baby.
tell us. Yeah. Here's another one. I've used Prairie Fresh. I used Prairie Fresh one this year and got blessed with my first ever first place call.
Congrats.
There you go. Prairie Fresh. Let's see. Is super nice to cooks. Love it. I love my knives and coolers as well. David, tell us a little bit about your role with Prairie Fresh. Tell us, how long you've been with the company. I was shocked to hear that. And then tell us a little bit about the product itself. What makes Prairie Fresh products so dadgum good?
Well, thanks, Mike. Glad to share all that information, and welcome to I recognize a lot of the names have been flashing by. They're loyal Prairie Fresh users, and we appreciate that. So I head up marketing as well as corporate communications for the Prairie Fresh brand. Technically, my company is Seaboard Foods. So you see that if you get a box of Prairie Fresh ribs, they're going to be in a Seaboard box. So that's the reason why. We have some plans to change that in the near future as we build out the brand. And so I have responsibilities from everything from consumer marketing. So a lot of consumer marketing campaigns that we do that go out to retailers. I also handle a lot of our consumer affairs, a lot of our issues management, which allows me then to really understand how our system works and how we produce the product. And I get to deal with some very interesting folks over time too. With you can imagine being a red meat company.
Yeah.
We get a few challenges out there, but I love talking about the company and very, very proud of what we do. And I built that knowledge base because I joined the company about almost 22 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so pork is a passion of mine. I grew up on a pig farm in central Missouri. Had my first pig when I was about 5 years old, and actually raised pigs. Had a sow herd all through high school, and so my dream was always to work for a pork company, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that many years ago, and start out and see the Prairie Fresh brand really grow, and that's something that we started out as a commodity pork company, but we've always been focused on quality. That's been something we won't ever take a shortcut for, and we started out in the panhandle of Oklahoma. And raising pigs in an area that's not typically thought of as a pig country, but Oklahoma
Right.
now is a major pork producer in
Wow.
the surrounding states because of that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the heritage of the pig. Is there, I know there's a Duroc. I'm sure there's different heritage. Is there something with the pig that y'all are using? And what's the big difference between like a Duroc and the pig that y'all are raising?
Yeah, so we use a crossbred market hog. So on the sire line or the male side, it's actually a Duroc.
Okay.
And Duroc is known for its well marbled, sweet tasting meat. I mean, it's a meat based hog, and that's the reason why that is our sire line. On the female side or the dam side, it's a landrace and a large white crossbred.
Okay.
And so that's, if you ever go into one of our farms, you're going to see mostly white pigs because the white hair is the dominant gene, but every once in a while you'll see a red pig scattered out throughout the barn,
Right.
with that dominant gene. But so that's where that white comes. There's mothering ability, the sturdiness of the animal. There are some meat characteristics on the female side, but that is our genetic line throughout our entire system. And that's something I didn't really explain earlier, is that our system, we call it a connected food system. So we are really from the genetics all the way through processing, we have complete control. We have 5 producers that are pig farmers, owners, that actually are part of our system and actually own all of our processing plants as well that are within our system. And that gives us complete and total control. And that's the major reason why you'll see the quality that we have throughout our product. I mean, Mother Nature does play tricks on us occasionally, but we
Right.
try to reduce that variable as much as we possibly can by having that consistency. And it starts with the genetic lines first.
That's pretty cool. So Merv asked, so is it a Duroc with a heritage Berkshire? Is kind of, or just a Duroc with just a commodity pig?
Yeah, so a Duroc it is the purebred
Right.
male line, and then
Right.
the female side that we breed the male to for the market pigs. So it's a basically a 3 breed cross for our market pigs. It'll have Duroc, large white, and Landrace is that market pig.
Okay, that's interesting. That is
Mm.
really interesting. So, are these free range hogs? Or these? How do y'all raise the hogs?
Yeah, so all of our hogs are raised in climate controlled barns, and there's reasons for that. First of all, it allows us to take care of and monitor the pigs, whether it be the sow side or the on the market hog side too in a finishing barn. We
Right.
can control the climate, and keep them cool in the summer and
Okay.
warm in the winter. We
Right.
have we have farms that go from the Texas Panhandle all the way to Minnesota, Colorado, to Indiana is where our farms are located. So we have a lot of variation in climate. So we
Right.
really, it's about pig comfort and controlling that environment. It also helps us with disease, as
Okay.
well. So by having them in a barn, if you come to one of our farms, we wouldn't let you in. Actually, you have to
Wow.
shout in to walk, and we are very very strict about that from a biosecurity standpoint because we want to give them the least amount of medication that we have to. We're going to
Right.
give them medication if they get sick, but the more we can keep the pig healthier, the better it is for multiple reasons. And so there's extremely high security, and that's why they're in those barns.
Wow. That is a cool story. So it's just all about keeping the pig to where it's just less stress on the animal.
Yeah.
Okay, and
They need to be
that's
eating, and they need to be eating, getting fat, and be happy. That's kind of
and
what
be
we want
happy.
them to. Yeah, that's what we want them to
Okay, so Ace has got a
Vibrator.
question. Is there a specific feed for the hogs? And I do want you to kind of touch on
Yeah,
that because that was one of the things that you started talking about iodines and this and that and like all this stuff of what you're doing with this hog that it causes this great marbling. Obviously, on the Duroc side of the pig, that's kind of natural, but I'm sure there's other things that you're doing as well. So to me, that is the greatest thing that I've seen with Prairie Fresh, and I'm sure Sterling would agree, is the marbling in y'all's ribs is second to none. Consistent. So tell us a little bit about
Flavor.
how those things got so much marbling, and is that, I'm sure, some hog, but is some of that
yeah.
the feed as well?
A lot of that's the genetic side of it too, but you also got to have the right texture within that muscle mass, and it impacts in the marbling or the white fat even within the carcass can be impacted significantly by the feed.
Okay.
So when you ask if there's a specific feed, there's actually can be 14 plus rations that the pig is actually fed from the time that it's born until it's harvested in one of our processing plants. Um,
Wow.
and so it's primarily either corn or Milo, depending on the region and then to what available markets, and then soybean meal. But then there's micronutrients too, and we do not have a vegetarian diet, and we get asked that a lot by consumers, which I always find to be a little bit fascinating about someone asking about if the pig is a vegetarian that they're going to eat. But
Right.
everyone, it comes from just people hearing things, and consumers kind of
Yeah.
jump on something. We don't. We actually have some animal based. We don't use any um, bovine bone meal in it. We use because of concerns about basically BSE, which happened many years ago in cattle. But we do use choice white grease and some other fats within our rations in the finishing phase. And that has to do with producing an iodine value in the carcass. And the iodine value has to do then with the firmness of the white fat. And,
Okay.
and so there's a level that we're trying to hit. And any of our producers that are producing for us know that they have to hit those levels. And that actually then helps. It's really significant in the pork belly to keeping it really firm, but it actually impacts the entire carcass. And so that's going to help with that
Yeah.
mouth feel and the bite that you get from it once it cooks. And that's the reason why we use animal
Science.
byproducts. Yeah.
Yes, I was about to say, Sterling. I mean, I'm sure you have felt it. You'll get these ribs, you'll
I
trim
love it.
them. It's
I love it.
always soft fat. It's never these
Yeah.
hard pockets of fat. And even if it does have some pockets of fat between the bone, it always cooks out really good. It's never like big, thick chunks of fat that you're worried a judge may bite on, or if I'm in my backyard, I don't want to feed somebody a big chunk of fat. It is so soft it renders out
Yeah.
throughout the cook. Have you noticed
And
that,
yeah,
Sterling?
yeah. What's really cool about what we're talking about right now and what David is giving us knowledge on is this is stuff that is useful for competition barbecue right now. This is
Yeah,
education that people can take and utilize and put into the next competition they're doing right now. This is what
yeah,
makes Barbecue Champs Academy another level. And listening to this podcast is you have people like David on here who are experts in the industry, and you get to listen about the iodine level. You get to listen about the fats and the way that they 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 cultivate this animal, the way that they feed it, and the way that the end product is going to be an amazing bite and an amazing
yeah.
something. So to me, this is fascinating. And if
It really is. I mean,
I'm not. There should be a million people on this podcast right now
I
because
know it.
you get to learn something from people who are experts in this industry. And David right now is dropping some amazing knowledge on everybody right now that you should be listening to because
Yeah,
this is going to help us all create a better bite, a better texture, a better in competition barbecue. We all know it's competition. We're competing. This
right.
isn't feeding our families. This isn't feeding a catering. This is that one bite, making it the best bite we can make for a judge. So a lot of what we're doing goes into what David's talking about is finding that perfect bite, that perfect
Mm-hmm.
texture, that
Texture,
the perfect fat. Fat is amazing. Fat's flavor. Fat's life. Fat is all
juicy,
that.
tenderness.
There's good fat and there's bad fat, and we all know that. And
Yeah.
and, and there's good fat that you put in your mouth that's silky and it's flavorful and it's right. And so this is what Dave's talking about with these hogs that they're raising is getting that fat right. This is
Yep.
amazing information, and I'm glad that David's like if you should be listening to this stuff. If you're not in competition barbecue, you're not listening to this cat,
Yeah.
then you're
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
you're you're
This
remiss on
this this
information.
this is going to have a lot of views, I'm sure, and I hope after this show is over, I hope everybody shares this video because it'll be on Barbecue Champs Facebook page once it's live now, but after it ends,
Yeah.
it'll be where you can share it. This is the kind of information that's amazing, and I had an opportunity to cook these, David. I told you I had a virtual. An in-person class that turned into a virtual class for a group that was up in Georgia and right outside of Atlanta in Roswell. And I don't know, they Raider Red Meat shipped them like 35, 40 slabs of ribs, and I cooked up 9
Hmm.
slabs of them on a Green Mountain grill. And they were all, and these are backyard people, but they all said, this is the most flavorful, tenderest, juicy rib that I've ever ate in my life. And I had some guys that were just like, oh, I cook these great ribs. And I was like, I do a 3-2-1 method. And I was like, oh my gosh, them are going to be some dried ribs. And I said, well, I don't do that. I do 2 hours on smoke, 2 hours wrap, 2 hours, 15 minutes wrap. They're going to be amazing. And he could not stop eating them. And he just kept coming back like, why are they so flavorful? Why is they're just so juicy? And I was like, it's the fat content. And I had all them extra racks of ribs and I started showing them what to look for. And I was like, almost every rack, I mean, out of 40 racks of ribs, every one of them was like almost competition quality of what she picked out and sent to me. And it was amazing. So, but tell us, continue. I mean, this is some really amazing stuff. So, it's the breed of hogs, the way that they're not stressed out. It's in a controlling climate, which I see as just fascinating. I never would have thought
Also,
of that.
what they
Yeah,
ate. I mean, you're talking about what they ate leads to. I I always thought of intramuscular fat as being life. Intramuscular fat is juice and flavor and all that. But and I thought a lot of that came from just the breeding. But I mean, what you're saying is it's a breeding as well as what they're eating, and that's going to flavor that intramuscular fat. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, if you
Yeah.
use some, there are some other meal type products that you could actually create an off flavor by not using the right type of feed ingredient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really,
That's
Yeah.
interesting to
really,
know.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, in
Really,
most states, it's not illegal to feed garbage feeding, but it used to back in the old days. That used to be,
Yeah.
pig
oh
slop.
yeah,
Cheap.
Pig slop. That's what pig slop was based off of.
slopped, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's far from that now because we know how much we can impact quality by the feed ingredients
Yeah.
that we use.
Yeah. That's awesome.
that's some
Yeah.
amazing stuff. Well, all right, carry on. Look if y'all.
Is there a way that I can take some pigs and put them off this side and just feed them Loot and Booty everything rub for like a couple months?
It's already flavored in them,
I would talk to my
You
nutritionist
know,
about
we can
that.
already package
Yeah.
the pre dry brine pork from Loot and Booty Prairie Fresh. I'm all about
Yeah.
that. Let's talk, David. Let's talk about
We're gonna need a
Yeah.
little bit bigger than a 16-ounce bottle though when we start doing that. At a
Yeah,
time.
you're gonna need 1,000-pound bags.
All
All right, I know a lot of y'all are
figure that
asking
out.
some. I know a lot are asking some questions, so just sit tight. Let's continue to let David kind of tell us more about this, because the process to me of this whole deal is really fascinating. And then we'll go through each one of the questions. I've got the first one up here now. We'll kind of go through everybody's question and get everything answered. But David, I just kind of continue on. I mean, if there's something that you still got, so we see how you breed them. We see how it's a closed environment. We see the pigs are not stressed. The feed process and all of this is helping the intramuscular fat, the pig, the whole 9 yards. So continue on and tell us whatever else you got, because this is some amazing stuff.
Yeah. So
Can I ask something about what I hear, David, is people ask me what's different between the all natural versus the prime line. If
Okay.
you can touch on that while you're talking.
Yeah, so I'll kind of jump in that in here in a
Thank you.
second.
Okay.
So there's a lot that happens at the farm level, and keeping a pig comfortable and stress free is really critical. But then too, when they go to the processing plant, there's a lot of things that happen there too, and they're
Okay.
from the way that they're hauled and the way they're unloaded off the trucks. The key is to keep the pig stress free.
Okay.
And they actually have a rest period once they're in the plant, so they're not immediately going into harvest, because they can calm down from the transportation part, because the adrenaline from that is going to impact pork quality.
Wow.
They
I never
are
knew that.
they're actually very, very slowly and methodically brought up to the stunning area within the processing plant, and we use CO2 as a way to stun the pigs. So basically we're putting them to sleep. It's a gondola system. CO2 is heavier than air, so it drops them down there. Then they come out and they're stuck in blood from that. So the whole idea is that you should never really hear a squeal within the processing plant.
Wow.
Pigs will squeal occasionally, but
Right.
unlike the days back when I was a kid and they had electrical stunning, it's completely different today.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then the carcass goes through a process. It's really important that we quick chill that carcass. So they're basically, think of massive blast freezers. So after the carcass is split and gutted out, we're going to chill that carcass down as quickly as we can, because that'll set pH levels and also make sure that we don't have pale, soft, exudative. It's called PSE pork. Deals with texture, or you can actually go the other way, dry pork too. And then once they're chilled, then they go into an equilibrium bay for about a day before they're actually going to the cut floor, and that's where we start basically making all the pieces that you see, the St. Louis ribs, as well as the hams, the butts, everything that we're basically deassembling.
Right.
Other plants have assembly lines. We're basically taking things apart when we get into the cut floor.
Wow. That is some amazing stuff.
Awesome.
I didn't. So not only is it just all that, but it's the transportation. It's getting them in. It's getting them calmed, and just the way that you put them to sleep. I mean, that is just a fascinating story of what you're doing. And to be able to do it in a commodity level that you're supplying mass amounts of these things. You would just think, the heck with it, just turn it out as fast as we can. The quality control of your product is second to none.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And we're very proud of that. So to get to Sterling's, question about Prairie Fresh Natural versus Prairie Fresh USA Prime. So that's a line that
Okay.
we introduced about 2 years ago. Um, and so that happens, it's a selection process that happens inside the processing plant. Once the carcass comes out of the equilibrium bays, and we actually then, well, actually it happens a little bit before that. We have some proprietary processes that will measure, basically measuring the marbling within that carcass. There's a tool that does it and then predicts that, giving it a number. Um,
Okay.
if I ever have you in the processing plant, that's one part of the plant I can't take you into because it's so proprietary, the process
Right.
we have for that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Talking
really,
secrets, David.
yeah.
Secrets. Yeah.
So it's really, that's how we end up. Prairie Fresh USA Prime, you're going to get a consistently highly marbled piece of meat, whether it be the rib or the loin eye. We do some verification on the loin eyes just because that's the place that's the most visually easy to see, but it's
Right.
actually determined prior to that. And so, not that you won't get highly marbled product in Prairie Fresh Natural, but you're going to have more variation. We're narrowing that variation within Prairie Fresh USA Prime, and it has taken off in competition barbecue, gangbusters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a follow-up
So,
question though. You
okay.
said you check it you check it in the loin, so you do that much like a prime rib, like beef does,
Yeah.
where you
Where you
take a
strike
plug
it.
Yeah. So
out of like the
they'll be
eighth or
looking.
ninth rib
It gets
bone, and
broken
you put
down.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's some
and
checks.
put it under a microscope and do all your science.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, if it's done, you can tell that some of the loins that come down the line, the marbling is so heavy in them.
It's
You don't.
visually.
Yeah.
Visually you can see it.
You just.
You can tell.
It's
You can
amazing.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
one of the questions, Thomas, and maybe you just answered it, is pork graded similar to beef, select, choice, etc. What grade rib is typically available in stores? So you're saying that maybe like the Prairie Fresh Naturals would be maybe like a choice, and then the primes would be more like a prime that we're used to in beef. Is that safe to say, or something?
Yeah, I have to be a little careful with it because we have some USDA regulations
Yeah.
around this.
Right, right,
So pork is not graded like beef is.
right, right.
But we are trying to build our own system to identify the highly marbled. So our
Okay.
Prairie Fresh USA Prime is a brand name only. We're
Okay.
not technically making any claims regarding
Right.
grading of pork.
It's just the name. Yeah.
But it's a name. But USDA allows us to use the word prime.
Prime.
And so that we're calling it our best quality without any question. But it's technically not a graded. It's not a
Yeah.
USDA grade.
Right.
It didn't exist, so we went and created a way for us to pick out the best product.
Okay, so you're going to get more marbling throughout all the rib with a prime over a natural.
Correct.
And it's going to be more consistent of just about all of them that you get. Because sometimes I've seen some naturals they're just amazing, and some of them, not quite as much marbling, where the prime is just pretty much going to be more consistent every time.
They have a threshold that they have to meet, and if the carcass doesn't, it's not going to be. It will not go. We do that at the beginning of the shift. And so they sort out from the day prior. Those carcasses that qualified for the Prairie Fresh USA Prime brand then are all processed within the first couple of hours, so that we can segregate and keep track of them within, and then we start regular production after that.
Okay, so one other question. I know the primes are a St. Louis cut. Are they around a 3.5 to 4 pound? Are they just a little bit bigger, heavier rib than some of the naturals?
No, they actually not necessarily, because we have a limited population that qualifies every day. We actually have a wider weight range in Prairie Fresh USA Prime St. Louis ribs. If you really want consistency, we have a competition code that's a little bit hard to get on the Prairie Fresh Natural, but that one will have a quarter of a pound increment weight range. It's a 3.25 to 3.5 rib, and it comes from a heavier carcass, so they tend to be fairly well marbled,
meatier.
Yeah.
Is that the prime? That's a 3.25 to 3.5, or is that the natural?
That's the natural.
That's the natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the St. Louis and the Prairie Fresh USA Prime typically have a little bit more weight. We aren't strict on our weight range because of the other criteria, because we just don't have enough carcasses in a product every day to get into the quarter pound increments to meet some
What's an average weight on the prime? Are they
they're around 3 typically, but
three?
you
Okay.
may get one that might be 2 3/4. It depends on
Okay.
the time of year because you can have a lightweight hog that can be highly marbled and meet the
Right.
target.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Man, unbelievable. Okay. All right. So let me just kind of run through. Let's see. We want our first. All right. I'm going to get to some questions. Central Missouri Weir. Okay. Central Missouri. This is Ace. I'm near St. Louis. Where can they get ribs there?
I was really asking where I was from in Central Missouri. I mean, or Central Missouri ribs.
Yeah,
Walmart,
ribs.
yeah.
St. Louis.
Walmart actually in Missouri carries Prairie Fresh Natural as well.
Okay.
So
Oh,
Walmart.
naturals.
yeah,
Walmart.
Yeah,
Okay.
um,
Wally World Ice.
and if he's
Buy a
near
deep
St.
freezer at
Louis,
Wally World and load it up with Prairie Fresh
yeah,
ribs.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's
Deerbergs in St. Louis also will be carrying our product, and they might be carrying Prairie Fresh USA Prime pretty
uh,
soon.
okay. All right. So that's near St. Louis is where he's
Yeah.
at. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Justin, the Prairie Fresh ribs at Walmart, is that certain region or across the country? Okay. So we was talking to David a little bit about this before the show. I want you to specifically tell me what you told me about Texas and then where else they may
Okay.
be.
So I don't know the exact timing. It's been in the last month or so. Walmart gave us all of their business in the state of Texas. So you'll find Prairie Fresh Natural in those single one packs. So ribs, butts, loins, half loins, picnic shoulders, those types of products that are in a cryovac vacuum pack will be Prairie Fresh Natural at the Walmarts in Texas. We also then go all the way up to like Minnesota, over to far as west as Colorado and like Indiana. We are getting ready to launch. It may have launched this afternoon. I did not have time to check, but we have a new product locator that's going live on our website that will allow you to find product by
All
brand
right.
and tier. It'll definitely be live by tomorrow unless something goes wrong. So
Okay. All right. So real quick, do you have that web address?
yeah, so it's prairiefresh.com, and then you go. There's a where to buy at the top of
Okay.
it, and it'll take you to that. So
Okay. All right. prairiefresh.com and go to where to buy. So
yeah,
perfect. All right. Let's see. I will definitely. All right. So here's one. Carlos, I definitely saw that using Prairie Fresh, I have walked more in pork and ribs. Yeah. Carlos, I agree with
congratulations.
you, brother.
Continue to use it.
I've had a ton of people reach out to us through this show and message me and call me and stuff like that. So, what breed are Prairie Fresh? We've already kind of talked about that. It's a cross between a Duroc and more of a what would you say, a Duroc and what else,
It's
David?
a landrace large white. It's a commercial female
Okay,
site. Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah,
Let's see. Here we go. How big is the hog when it is ready to harvest? That's a good question.
yeah.
Typical.
And interesting at the American Royal, we asked some of our pit masters. We did a little Facebook thing on that. It was pretty funny to hear what some people would say. Um,
I'm going to say 800 pounds.
No,
700,
can I guess? Can I
yes,
guess?
seven.
yes.
I'm gonna guess around 180 pounds.
About 285 pounds is a
Wow.
market.
I'm
Holy
thinking
shit!
too big. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a big hog.
yeah, that would
That's a
be like
big
a
ass
large
hog.
sow.
Yeah,
Probably
I don't know
about.
why I said 700 pounds. I was thinking of something
So
else.
interesting fact about that. I grew up on a pig
Thinking
farm.
like
I
a
told you
gorilla,
that.
bro.
And when I was a kid, and we would sell, and I actually grew up in a town that had a pork processing facility in it. Um, and so when we would take our pigs, we would get docked if the pigs were over 220 pounds.
Wow.
Now we would never even think about slaughtering one that light. That's just how the
Yeah,
industry's
you want them
changed.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, scientific, amazing, awesome show so far. All right, mind blown with all the scientific feeding. Yeah, I think Sterling and I both are just like, wow, this is like information
I love that stuff.
overload. So
And I could, if I
No, it's
had a
my. This is
nutritionist
this is
here,
stuff I love to learning.
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see. All right, let's see. I will say that using Prairie Fresh has helped me so much. I like the gift they give when you hit first place. Yeah, or grand champion. They definitely get you across the finish line. That's for sure. The knowledge makes us all much better cooks. Top-notch information. Awesome. I will share it. Thank you, sir. How can I get some of them Prairie Fresh knives? Yeah, is there a way that they can buy the knives?
They are right now a gift only for our honor roll, the Prairie Fresh Pit
Okay.
honor roll. So if you
Use
honor
Prairie
first place,
Fresh and kick some ass with them.
That's it.
get the first
That's
place
it.
pork or rib collar or GC, and we'll send you some ribs. Some
There you
nice.
go. We get Prairie
love
Fresh
them.
very rarely here in West Virginia. There is actually only one grocery store that has them, and they say at that store they can't control what ribs they get in. So, well, look, if you are needing ribs and you want Prairie Fresh, Raider Red Meats. RaiderRedMeats.com. They're part of the Lubbock, the Texas Tech University Ag Department. Call and talk to Kirsten. They have amazing shipping. They can ship overnight. Their freight is very, very reasonable. And they can ship a case of ribs out. David finally got them hooked up with plenty of ribs. They were just completely stressed out. They could not keep up with the demand of the people we were sending to them. And she was like, Mike, don't send me no more. I was like, I was like, what's wrong? She said, I just can't keep up. I was like, no, we're not going to stop. We got to get you more ribs. So I said, here's David's email. Contact him, make it happen. If anybody can make it happen, he will. And she called me and she said, hey, look, we got plenty of ribs now. So RaiderRedMeats.com, I think, is their website. Just Google them. They can ship them to you. Super awesome to work with and great prices. Mark Hughes, first place comp. Is there any way to order Prairie Fresh ribs consistently? Yes. Once again, Raider Red Meats. If you tell her you're a competition cook, she's very good about going through them and kind of selecting out some really, really good ribs for you. She's done that for a lot of people.
I've used her before many times.
Oh, yeah. Let's see what else we got. What I think is awesome is the fact that you can find Prairie Fresh product readily available at most major grocery stores and win competitions with them. 100%. All right, man, we got more. I see. I'd buy those pigs. Wow, I love barbecue. 100%. Do y'all process pig feet?
We do.
Do you?
Every part of the pig. There's nothing that isn't processed.
Okay.
Those typically are an export.
Everything.
Yeah, most of those go to the Asian countries. But
Okay.
yeah, pig
Yeah.
feet, they aren't worth much here in the U.S., but they're worth a lot when they go overseas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing you're not getting Prime at Walmart.
No,
No Prime at Walmart.
We do not have that volume for that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcio, brother, glad you're with us. Glad you're with us, man. Let's see, the super secret 4-digit ribs. So, goodness. What breed are your hogs? We've already talked about that. Let's see. I ended up with a 3.3 pound St. Louis Natural Walmart. I'm sure there's a way to fly me over a pallet. Lucas, yes, Lucas.
So we
He keeps trying.
Do you have any distributors? Okay, here we go. Do you have any distributors in Australia?
We do.
Oh, Lucas, you need to get close, my friend.
So I have him either drop us an email, and our VP of International Sales sits next door to me. I've asked this before because we had some teams from Australia actually come over for the Royal, and we hooked them up with product for that too. So I don't know how wide distribution we have there, but it's probably under the Seaboard Farms brand, but it's going to be the same product. So if we have something close, we'll see if we can figure something out.
Okay, Lucas, I want you to do this. Send me an email, Lucas, to info@bbqchamps.com. Info@bbqchamps.com. Send me an email, and I'll have your email address, and I will forward that to David. And then David can get you hooked up. All right, brother? Info@bbqchamps.com. Just shoot me an email. I may have it, but just get it to me. And David, I'll forward that to you. And let's see if we can push Prairie Fresh in Australia.
I need this information too because I'll be at Meat Stock Melbourne.
I know.
Yes. Yeah.
March, David.
So I'll figure
we need to talk before that happens.
Anybody in Oregon that has them. Veryl, once again, go to prairiefresh.com. Go to the store locator. They're getting it all loaded up. Check it sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that we have quite a bit of Northwest distribution, and I'm pretty sure in Oregon, so we'll figure that out. Yeah.
Okay. If stores have naturals, where do you find the primes? Raider Red Meats, I know, is getting some primes
Raider
in.
Red Meats.
They have the primes. Sterling, you cook the primes or you cook the naturals?
I like the primes. I do. To me,
Yeah.
it's about that marbling. It's about that flavor. It's about that extra something. To me, what sets my barbecue, I think, apart from everybody else's. I don't want to say because a lot of us are using the same product, but to me, I want that best marbled product. To me, if that natural fat from the animal comes through, yeah, I can inject it, I can rub it, I can sauce it, all that. But to me,
Yeah, that
that
natural fat
natural
is the
flavor
flavor.
from that
That's the
pork,
flavor.
from that brisket, whatever I'm cooking, that's gonna set me apart from everybody else. Because a lot of us are using the same rubs, same sauces, and all that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at the end of the day, we have to start with an amazing product. And if we have that amazing product at the beginning, it's only going to make our product at the end better. So to me, I love that prime product. To me, I've been cooking it all this year, and it's worked out for me. I actually been cooking. It's funny. It's 14th season in competition barbecue. This is my very first 180 in ribs this year. I got like almost a dozen 180s in chicken. I got several in brisket, a couple in pork. I never hit 180 in ribs until this year, and I switched over to Prairie Fresh primes this year, and I think cooking them right with that marbling and that flavor just put them over that next level. So to me, I'm a huge fan of that prime line. I've been using it all this year, and I've been running it. And I cooked Prairie Fresh prime ribs at the World Food Championships. I did a teriyaki pork rib with it, and it was a phenomenal product. And
yeah,
I really gravitate towards that prime line because to me,
yeah,
it's about that natural flavor
yeah.
of the protein itself.
Absolutely. Okay. How straight how straight the ribs are considered when selecting the ribs for prime line or just marbling? I always look marbling first, and still you got to have some
Marbling.
pretty
They
straight.
can't see the ribs.
Yeah,
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 and there is something in our
They don't select those ribs
yeah
when they're cut off the animal. It's really on the carcass, correct?
yeah, and so there is a little bit of a part of the spec, but it's not one of the things that they're actually watching on the line. So I always
Yeah.
tell our geneticists that I would like for them to like breed a hog that was like almost perfectly square on the side, so the bones would be straight, but they haven't been able to do that yet for me. So
yeah. So let me ask
Yeah.
you a question, David, and I've often wondered this. I did have a rack here that I opened up the other day, and I mean the bones were really. I mean, we can deal with semi-straight, but they were really, really crooked, like bad crooked. What causes that? Sometimes they're piano keys. That one was just really bad crooked. What causes those ribs to do that? Any idea?
I think it's just the natural variation. Occasionally, like
Yeah.
all of Mother Nature, every once in a while something just isn't perfect. Could
Right,
have been that
It's
pig
a natural
was,
thing.
yeah, may have like maybe got a little squished by its mother when it was a baby, and it might have like
right. Yep.
spray out the rib cage, but it didn't hurt it really
Right,
necessarily. And
right.
then they just didn't grow straight from there. There's many possibilities with that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. The store locator is up. Awesome. Thanks for letting us know. Man, that's some great information, David. Golly, that is just some phenomenal stuff. So, any other questions that anybody has for David? I've went through everything. Now is the perfect time. If you've got a certain question that you'd like to ask, let us know. We'll get that out there. I'll throw this up there. What do you think about a Mangelsta?
Mangalista.
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 So it's very much a heritage breed. I mean, there are niche markets, probably more high-end restaurants that want that extremely fatty type hog.
Mm-hmm.
Commercially, they are not economically feasible to produce the way that we produce hogs
Right,
on
right.
large farms. But
Small
there's,
batch.
yeah.
Small batch, yeah. Okay.
Think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay. That is so awesome. Sterling, let's real quick, man. We'll give people a few moments to ask some questions and stuff. Man, congratulations on World Food, man. That was just another epic run, 4-time world champion now. I know that's got to make you feel amazing. You've had an amazing year this year, reserve grand champion at the American Royal. Tell us a little bit about just everything that happened. It would tell us,
Yeah.
you went into the eat competition with one thing, and that was to make it to the finals. So let's hear about it, brother. And your
Yeah.
dish.
Oh yeah, it was just, unfortunately, the World Food Championships fell on the KCBS finals this year, and I had grand championships to cook at both. But I cooked World Food Championships last year, and I reserve granted to our good friend Robert Smith, First Class BBQ, great friend of ours. And so I told myself that was one of the things that I wanted to win. I didn't care what weekend it was. Unfortunately, it's the same weekend as KCBS finals.
Right.
If it was a different weekend, I would have been there all day long. But
Right.
I told myself at the beginning that I wanted to win World Foods. So, but what's funny is I can't tell you about that feeling, and Robert can tell you, is standing up there, number one and number two. And last year, me and Robert are standing up there, number one and number two, and he won, and I
Yeah.
took reserve grand to him, and seeing him win was phenomenal experience. And I got to tell you a funny story, and I wish he was on this podcast right now because he would love this. Is the barbecue family is unique. It's special. It's different. The award ceremonies that we have are different than the other categories.
Hmm.
And I respect and I love those other categories, and they're just amazing. But when barbecue guys get together, it's different. And I got to see my, my buddy, my sous chef, Mike Johnson from Sugar Fire Smokehouse, an amazing, phenomenal friend of mine, an amazing chef, an amazing friend. I got to see him film the finals with me and Hondo up there, and who was in the background was Robert Smith.
Yeah.
And I got to watch this video. I've watched it a million times. Believe me, hearing your name called is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I watched it looking at Robert the whole time, and he looked as nervous as I did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fiddling his fingers. He was excited,
I
and I could
saw that.
tell that he knew that something amazing was going to happen. And then
Yeah.
after they called my name, to see him as excited almost as I was
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy to
Yeah.
see people you admire, people you love, people you respect, and the whole community just coming together. And David was there. You see, he knows.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loving and giving respect was phenomenal. And to me,
Yeah.
it wasn't even about winning the grand champion. It was about seeing my friends and my peers come together to embrace what just happened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was exciting to me. That was better. That was better than winning. That was better than the big check. Was
Yeah.
seeing my friends' faces
Yeah.
as happy as I
Yeah.
was
Oh
a
yeah.
phenomenal moment.
Yeah. You can see Robert. He
I hate
was
to get
just over
choked.
there.
I hate to get choked up like this, but
It's
he was
true, man.
feeling, he was excited.
Yeah.
And
You could
I had to
tell.
watch that video a
I
million
was
times
watching
just
it.
to watch him to be as nervous and excited as I was. And he wasn't up there.
Yeah.
It was just a friend watching
Yeah.
another friend.
Yeah.
To me, that set it off.
Yeah.
That set it off.
100%.
That was
100%. Man, congratulations, brother. You've had a heck of a year, man. I mean, unbelievable what you did at the Royal, and then to come back and then go over to World Food and do that. And I tell you what, Smitty, your culinary skills, I think you've got a dang good chance to win that $100,000.
I'll tell you
Your
what.
food is amazing. The creativity is unbelievable. David, I'm sure you've seen some of his stuff. I mean, I think you'd have to agree with me. The boy is. I just walked in his trailer and I was like, man, I couldn't do this. This is over my head, And you're like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing. And you was just doing all that, like, and I'm just like, man, my mind don't go there. So you've got it going on, Smitty. I mean,
I appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
think.
But to me, it's not just about me. It's about my team that I built. I have one of my great friends, a guy I look up to in this industry, Mike Johnson from Sugar Fire Smokehouse, and my sous chef. He's a 5-star Michelin chef. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing. I brought John Reeves from Team Green Mountain Grills. He brought his trailer out so we can have our Green Mountain Grill set up there. We got the trailer. We got everything going. When you go into an event like this, when you go into any competition, you have to
bring the best with you.
You have to build your battle, right?
Yeah.
I have a military background, and to me, it's all about that battle group. You're not going to that fight solo. You're going with a team that you built, that you know has got your back, that you know is going to be there, that you know if you slip up 1 second, guess what? They're going to call you out. And they're going to get your back. If you don't have that team with you, you can't succeed. So to me, having that team with Mikey, having that team with John there, building our team, we brought it all together. And then once I found out, which is funny thing is, for the barbecue portion of it, I competed in Eat barbecue, which it's fancy. You put it on a platter. We had three categories. We had chicken, we had pork ribs, and we had brisket. So I turned in chicken wings three ways. I did a white sauce, a barbecue sauce. I did teriyaki with toasted sesame seeds. I did a teriyaki pineapple Prairie Fresh pork ribs that were just beautiful.
I
Turn
saw
it in
them.
and the pineapple cut off. It was phenomenal with the Asian salad, a little toasted pineapple underneath. And I did an amazing brisket taco with that. So what's
Hmm.
really cool about the Eat is you can take that barbecue and turn it into something amazing.
Right.
There's also the CBA portion, and we all know CBA, which is amazing. Half chickens,
Hmm.
brisket ribs. They took the top five from CBA, the top five from the Eat category, and they love my chicken. They love my Prairie Fresh ribs. My brisket didn't place well with the judges. I ended up ninth overall. But this year was something special. They had what's called the Cook's Choices, or the Master
Judge,
Chef's
master judge.
Choices.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they took your appearance portion of what you turned in. The master judges judged that, and they gave an extra spot to somebody they thought was deserving of a spot based off of creativity, based off of what you turned in, taste, and all
Presentation.
that.
Yep.
So I got that roll up vote from day one to
Right.
compete with that top five. So when we went into the finals on Sunday, cooking that Chairman's Reserve brisket, we're all on the same plate. The top five from Eat, top five from CBA, plus my roll up. We have 11 cats going into the finals. To
Yep.
me, it was a clean plate. And I knew who those judges were. To me, what I teach in barbecue classes is look at who you're feeding. Know your
Hmm.
judges.
Yeah.
You got to know who your judges are. You know the
Yeah.
rules and know who your judges are, and you'll be that part. Some people don't
Yeah.
even read the rules; they have no idea what they're cooking for.
Right.
If the more you know, the better you're going to be prepared in
Yep.
any battle, in any war, in any competition.
Yep.
So I always look who I'm judging to, and we had the Mount Rushmore of barbecue judges. We had
Yeah.
Chris Lilly, we
Yeah.
had Tuffy Stone, we
Yeah.
had Dave Anderson, famous Dave,
Yeah.
Leanne Whippen, we
Yeah.
had Harry Sue,
Harry
we had
So.
these
Yeah.
phenomenal barbecue ambassadors judging our food, and we had to create a dish in the finals that inspired us. Something like,
Right.
why are we creating this dish? And it was a cold November weekend. A lot of people did chili that weekend. I get it. It
Hmm.
happened to be Veterans Day weekend. I'm a Navy veteran, so to me, I thought about my time serving our country. I was stationed at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. I traveled all throughout the Pacific Ocean, Hong Kong, Singapore, Guam, Philippines, all over. I love street food. I love the poo-poo platters. So we
Yeah.
were sitting down with Mikey, and Mikey's a phenomenal mind. He's a phenomenal chef. Like, he inspires me to be a better cook. He makes me think outside the box. He reaches inside and makes people better, which is what I love cooking with him.
Hmm.
So he said, you know what? We're gonna give him a QQ platter because we're barbecue
That's
people, right? We
right.
took that amazing brisket, and I said these were my favorite things that I love eating on the streets. I love fried rice. I love
Oh
pot
yeah.
stickers. I love egg rolls. And you know what else I love? I love the skewers, like meat skewers with little fruit,
Oh yeah.
everything on them.
Pineapples.
So our final results is for the finals, we had to take this brisket and give them brisket and burn-ins. That's it. And they didn't say put it on a plate. They said give us brisket and burn-ins. So we turned a burnt-in teriyaki burnt-in skewer with pineapple, toasted sesame seeds. We did a
Wow.
crab and brisket fried rice with sesame oil, a little quail egg on it. We turned in a shiitake mushroom and brisket pork gyoza. I'm sorry, not beef gyoza, with a wasabi aioli. We did a China lina sauce. So we did a Chinese hot mustard and a Carolina gold sauce and put it right over that gyoza. And then we did a stuffed brisket egg roll with a smoked mango, sweet chili sauce on it. And we gave them just a platter of all my favorite things that I wanted to eat. But we featured a phenomenal barbecued brisket. At the end of the day, this is a barbecue competition, right?
Right. Right.
So I took that brisket and I flipped it. I turned it into something that I love, something that inspired me. And with John's help, with Mikey's help, we created a dish that just blew the judges' minds away, and 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 the story behind it all encompassed with the dish that I wanted to give them. And to me, it just all came together that weekend. But like I said, the highlight was watching somebody else's reaction to me winning, it's something that brings it all full circle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 100%,
And
man.
that was awesome to me.
Yeah. 100%. What score did you have, Sterling?
100 perfect 100.
Perfect score.
So
That's it.
every single judge gave me a perfect 10 on that,
Yeah.
and that's coming from, like I said,
The elite
cats
of
that I look up
barbecue.
to,
Yeah. The elite
people
of
that
barbecue
when most of us came up cooking barbecue, we
was
saw these
watching
guys
them.
on TV.
Yeah.
We seen them do everything, and to get a
Right.
perfect score from these guys,
That was
Mikey,
awesome. That was awesome,
amazing,
brother.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And to see
That was,
David there, to see family there, to see
yeah.
my friends, babe,
Yeah. Yeah.
exciting.
100%. 100%.
It was good. Good times.
It was awesome to see, man. It was. I'm so proud of you. You know, hey, barbecue champs now.
Thank you.
The last 2 years, barbecue champs, Robert Smith and you. So,
I tell
what
you
did I
what,
tell?
I tell people this all the time. If you're not looking at these barbecue champs, you're not looking at these guys that are doing it. Robert's out there crushing. We got the steak guys out there crushing.
Yeah.
I've taken myself 2 steak classes from these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I want to get better, and to
Yeah.
me, this is that we're in something that you need to constantly learn to get better at, right? It's
Right.
not like, okay, this is what it is and it's stagnant and it's hill. If you're not continuing to learn, you're not continuing to listen to these pork guys who know exactly what kind of pork you're getting and how to cook it and
Mm-hmm.
the way to cook it. If you're not looking at these professional guys that are on the circuit, Robert's out there every weekend
Every
out there
weekend.
crushing it. All
Yeah.
these guys are out there crushing it. If you're
Yeah.
not looking at what these guys are doing, you're going to put yourself behind the curve.
Yeah.
But that's what's
100%.
really cool about what you're doing, Mike, and not only bringing all of us together, but bringing the guests on like David is spreading that knowledge
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make us all better. And,
Yeah.
and that's what Barbecue Champs is about, and that's what I love about it. But if we all get better, we all spread information, we
Yeah.
all spread love, and we all do red, then rising tides raise all ships. So let's
That's
all
it.
love each other.
That's
Let's
it.
all have a good time
That's it.
and do well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's 100%, man. I mean, we try. I mean, we've been doing this now a couple years, and our podcast has just steadily been consistent. 800, 900 views every week, and people are just constantly like, man, just the information that you bring out with your
Information, man.
cooks. When they come on, we've had charcoal people on, we've had sauce people on, we've had rub people on, we've got pork people. I mean, that's how we're educating people. And it's not, I
Yeah.
mean, we got a lot of people on here right now that are backyard people as well. And
Yeah.
that's the reach
This
that we have.
information wasn't around. This information wasn't around when I first started cooking.
Oh, I
This
know it.
wasn't here. We
Yeah.
had to burn so much meat and
Yeah,
waste so much
before it got good.
stuff before we figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
But what's honestly is that's what this is here. Use it. Use
Yeah.
your resources efficiently. I got a degree in finance from ASU.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman at the end of the day. And
That's
I'm going to
it.
use my resources efficiently. And if I'm going to get smarter in a certain way, I'm going to do it. And that's what we got to do in this. We call it a sport. If it's food sport, competition, hobby, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, we want to get better. We want
That's
to
right.
learn. We want to be the best. And if you're not out here to be the best at your craft, then I mean, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do what you want to do.
Right.
To me, I want to be the best of this craft.
Yep.
So to me, it's all about education. It's all about learning as much as I can, talking to people like David, talking to people who the pork I'm cooking, the brisket I'm cooking, the chicken, everything from the processes to the rubs, the salts, the seasonings. That's going to make me a better cook. And so you need to be
100%.
listening to this stuff.
100%. Well, man, I tell you what, if you want to know what this guy's doing, you can go to bbqchamps.com. I'm going to give the shameless plug, but come on, man, this guy's been
You
on
got
absolute
to.
fire. I mean, you have been
If you
absolutely
want to learn
killing
what
it.
I'm doing, it's there.
It's there.
Mike, right?
Yeah, I mean, right after the Royal,
Do what you're doing,
there-
and you're going to win.
there were so many people that bought his class after the Royal. Smitty, I'm sure you got your check
You know
this
how
last
many-
month.
You know what's phenomenal, Mike, which I love more than me winning? It's Ninth and Chicken Open. And there was a second place chicken call from a guy behind me. He
Yeah,
comes running up. He's excited. He's so stoked. Instead of running to the stage, he comes running over to me. He knew where I was sitting. He
right.
said, "Guess Smitty, I took your chicken class."
Yeah,
And he runs up and takes second place in the chicken in the American Roll Open.
yeah,
He beats me.
yeah.
But to me, the best part was him coming up and saying, "Smitty, I took your class, and I just took second place in chicken at the American Roll Open." To me, That's
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 life.
that's probably a huge gratifying deal that you help somebody get to the big stage.
Ultra
Yeah,
gratifying.
yeah,
It's the best feeling in the world. More than
yeah.
me, more than me walking. I was more excited for him than me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see that happen all the time. Corey Mikes with Steve Dotson that's just absolutely crushed it. I mean, you can
Yeah,
tell these guys. Lee Hickle every time somebody's walking with his
they
stuff
love it.
and they're
They
beating
love
up. They
it.
they just love that stuff. Robbie Royal. That's another one.
I
I
love
mean,
it, man. It's so
they
cool.
love it. They love it.
Cool. It's
It's
so
it's
cool.
helping. It's growing the sport, and it's growing backyard people. I mean, I've got so many people
Yeah,
that have bought classes that were just backyard people, and they're just like, I want to get into this, and I want to get better, and I want to start doing this kind of stuff. And
it's out there. Information
it's
is out
it's
there. We're all
it's
willing to give it to you.
it's all out there, 100%. Well, real quick, Sterling, let's give you a chance to thank all your partners and sponsors and everything else.
Oh my
And
God, number one is my wife and my kids. I mean, without them, I couldn't be out here doing what I do. And I'm actually in my mom's house, my mom and dad's house in Florida right now on Thanksgiving. My mom's awesome hutch right here with all her china. But so I'm visiting my parents right now. But my family, number one is family. Man,
yeah,
without family, you can't do what you do. And it's cool to see you and Suzette out there doing your thing because you guys are family. You're loving it.
yeah,
And her and
100%.
Molly, Jack, like,
Oh yeah, she
I mean,
loved
how cool is
Molly.
that?
Yeah,
Mikey, how
she
cool is
loved
that
Molly.
though? At the
It
end of the
was.
day, we
Yeah,
build not only relationships through barbecue, we built friendships, we built family off this. So it's
100%.
cool to see that.
Yeah, that was the first
But
time she ever met Molly. She loved her to death. So
well, we had a blast.
yeah,
And so besides my family, obviously I have amazing partners. Jason at Green Mountain Grills has been number one from day one, has been treated me like a family. They've been there. And Green Mountain Grills is Mike. We went and brought you out one, and how amazing is that grill cook?
oh,
I just
still cooking on it,
flawless. Hit the
brother.
button,
I
make it
ha- I
happen.
hauled I hauled it all the way to freaking Atlanta for that private cooking class.
Exactly, it's
So cooked
easy.
nine
Make it
slabs
happen.
of ribs. So
Love it, right?
yeah, yeah,
We got the new rip grills coming out, the wood chip grills, which I actually
yep.
cooked on at the Royal and the Jack. I got walks and ribs both days cooking on that rip wood chip grills. My David at Prairie Fresh, I
Yeah,
can't begin to explain. A lot of my success is from having a phenomenal product.
and now
So
we know
a lot
why.
of what we do, is yes, there's a lot of rubs and sauces and this involved. At the end of the day, you have to have a phenomenal product. So if you start out with some Prairie Fresh ribs, you start off with a phenomenal brisket, you start out with some awesome chicken, raised right, given love, you're gonna give it love and you're gonna have an amazing product at the end. So I can't thank Prairie Fresh enough. David and his team has been phenomenal. Chef, and I call him Chef Chris Brimmer up in Scottsdale. He's my great friend. He's been an
Right.
amazing representative for Prairie Fresh. So I love them. I use the products in classes. I use it in competitions. I use it at home to feed my family. So it's not only a competition product. It's something that I love feeding my family every single day because it just tastes better. It just does.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
100%.
Tim at Blues Hog has been a
Yeah,
great friend of mine forever. I use their charcoal. I use Gateway Drum Smokers. I love all their products. It's top of the line. Grill Grates is an amazing partner of mine. And look for more stuff coming soon from Thermo Pro. It's a
okay,
digital read thermometer where I'm starting to do some stuff with them. I am coming on board in 2023 as a brand ambassador for them. So look for some things. Loot and
okay,
Booty Barbecue products,
100%,
lootandbootybarbecue.com. You can always visit me
100%.
worldwide. Come on
That's
over. I
it.
got books, I got rubs, sauces,
And
and
on
I teach
and
classes
online
across the
barbecue
world
and online
at
barbecue classes.
barbecuechamps.com, baby.
BarbecueChamps.com. Go click BarbecueChamps.com. Scroll down there. Barbecue Pit Masters. Click Sterling Smith. You can get it and access on
We have
that
a code,
private
right?
Facebook
Hey,
page.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a code too, Smith20. You use code Smith20 for 20% off. If you buy my whole package, you have a Facebook page. You can message me. I'm
Yep.
sitting there at my parents' house drinking a beer, eating turkey. You can be like, Smitty, well, I don't mess up turkey. I'm gonna stop eating my stuffing and visit time with my family to message you on your Facebook page and say, okay,
Uh,
this is what you should do. Actually, I'm
that's so
not,
funny.
but
I
you
know.
do get a full page for
You do.
access. And you know what? That to me is almost is worth more as much as the class to be
A
able to
hundred
pick my
percent.
brain and to be able to ask me questions. And if you ask any of those guys who are on my page, and some of them are on there here,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
talk to you. I reach
Oh
out
yeah.
to you. I send message to you. You ask me a question. I may be a little late. I travel a lot, but I'm going to
Right,
reach
right.
out to you. I'm going to message you, and I'm going to make sure I set you in the right path. That's what I do. That's what I'm going to do to set myself different
Yep,
from
yep.
everybody else. Is I'm going to have access. I'm going to give you information. Because to me, it's all about information. If you don't have
100%.
information, you're dead in the water. The more you
Yep.
learn, the better you're going to be.
That's 100%. And we got the other champ on
Hey,
here,
Peter,
Peter.
Peter,
Yeah.
Peter, right here. Oh my gosh! Did you see his
Congratulations.
steak entry?
Oh yeah,
Mike, did you see his steak?
unbelievable.
Oh my God! How cool does
Unbelievable.
that look?
Yeah. Awesome job,
What's
Peter.
awesome, what's phenomenal also about World Food Championships is we know a lot of each competitors in different categories.
Right.
We compete against each other here and there, so it's really cool that we're all together. We all compete against each other, and the finals are just going to be amazing. It's $100,000.
Yeah.
One of the top 10 cooks, and Peter's there. He's going to
Yeah.
cook his ass off for 100G. I'm going to cook my ass for 100G. Damon Holter from Croy Valley, he's cooking his ass off for 100G.
Yeah.
So to get us all
gonna be-
there,
it's
it's
gonna be
really
fun.
cool to know each other and know other people that are in the finals, and that's what makes it really exciting. You know,
Absolutely.
and you know what?
Absolutely.
I hope there's a pork final at the end. That's Prairie Fresh. And I come in,
Yeah. That's
crush them
it.
all.
Kill them all, brother. Thank you, Smart. Thank you so much, Smitty. David, any last words, brother?
Well, just appreciate the opportunity and everyone that's joined. What Smitty talked about earlier about, for me personally, when I see one of our teams that's using our product and the excitement they get, when even if either their first call or their first 180, that's part of the barbecue family, and for me, that's the most gratifying and satisfying. And
It is.
This year I've gotten to give Smitty 2 really big hugs. Following the American Royal and the World Food Championships, and we
Love
just
it.
appreciate everyone that's out there and spreading kind of the love of barbecue. That's one of our mottos. We love barbecue at Prairie Fresh, and appreciate this opportunity and everyone that's using our product. And if you ever have questions, reach out to someone on my team, or I personally will be able to get back to you on it.
Yeah. If you ever have a question, you need to know
Absolutely.
something, always shoot me an email. I've got David's email. I can pass on the information, get the question answered. That's what I'm here for, is to help grow their brand and to help you guys with information that you need. David, man, I know you're a busy guy. I thank you so much for just taking a little bit of time off to tell this, to educate people. I think it's going to go a long ways. And I thank you so much for doing it. I've been shouting from the rooftops for this last year and a half about how great your products are. And I just kept saying, it's just the flavor, it's the moisture, it's the tenderness. And I didn't know why. It's just good pork. The Smitty said it just a minute ago. You have to start with the great protein. You've got the best protein, brother. I just can tell you that. And congratulations for what you guys are doing and not cutting any corners. So, and thank you for being on the show so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank once again all of our partners and stuff so much. We've had them scrolling around the bottom the whole time. Thank you for all that. But David, thank you for your support and being part of Barbecue Champs Academy. We've got an incredible network. We've got 11,000 followers on Facebook. We're averaging 3,200 people a day to our website. We've got tons of backyard people that reach out to us all the time. We just keep trying to push barbecue love across the entire world. We got people from all over the world that has bought classes from us. It's amazing. It's an incredible journey, and people like Smitty and Robert and the whole host of all the barbecue pit masters that we have, Robbie, and I don't want to go to name all of them because I'll be here forever. We got a lot of them. We got more classes that are coming. Yeah, we got more classes coming that we're working on, and all of our state cookers as well. So from the bottom of my heart, David, thank you so much for being part of Barbecue Champs Academy and the support and the love that you've given us. We've had an incredible year this year with pork, and it's all because of those ribs. I can't believe I've had so many top 5 calls in ribs. It's just unbelievable. It's been one of my strongest categories, that and brisket. So we're finally getting that chicken to coming around, and I think it's really showed here in the last month and a half.
You should be taking my chicken class, bro.
Yeah, I should, but you know me, I won't go take anybody's class. I don't know why. I won't do it. So anyway, I know a guy. That's right. So anyway, so thank you guys so much. Look, we have the holidays coming up. We have Thanksgiving coming up here in a couple days. I hope everybody has an incredible Thanksgiving. Like Sterling was saying just a minute ago, remember your family and your friends, your loved ones. Build those quality times. As we always say when we do our virtual classes, barbecue's about family, friends, and loved ones and building those relationships. And there's nothing better than doing it, whether you're smoking or frying up a turkey. I don't care what you're doing, hams and everything else. Build those relationships, build those memories, because that's the most important thing that you have. We have barbecue family, but we have our family that we deal with each and every day that we love so much. And you guys, to me, are awesome. I thank you so much for all the support that you've given us here at Barbecue Champs and our 3.5-year journey. Thank y'all so much. And as we always say, y'all go out there, have a lot of fun.